Alright, this lesson is all about graphing quadratics. They form parabolas. By the way, remember quadratic, that refers to degree 2. So look for these functions to have that x squared as the highest power. We're going to learn how to graph these things. We will be using our TI-30 XS multi-view. Okay, our first step is to come up with this table of values to help us graph this function. So there's a couple of things. You would be wise to put the vertex right here in the middle. Okay, vertex. Look, when we're talking about a parabola, if the parabola is facing up, your vertex is going to be right here at the very bottom. Okay, sometimes parabolas open down, and in that case your vertex will be right here at the very top. But either way, the vertex is in a sense in the middle of the graph, okay, because it goes left and right from that vertex. So with the symmetry, it's right in the middle. So it would be helpful to have it in the middle of your chart as well. So we learned a little formula that will help you find the x value of the vertex. Alright? The formula that will help us find out the number to put right here. And that formula is this. The x coordinate of the vertex is going to be the opposite of b over 2a. Now, when I'm talking about the b and the a, I'm talking about this. If you look at the equation and the coefficients, you'll notice that a is 1, b is -4, and c is 3. Okay, the a, b, and c are the coefficients of the equation. And notice how I read this. I don't say -b, I say the opposite of b. So if b is -4, the opposite of b is +4. And over 2a, well, a is just 1, so really 2a is just 2 times 1, which is 2. So I've got 4 divided by 2, so x is equal to 2. Now this is two things. This is the x coordinate of the vertex, so I'm going to go ahead and put 2 right in the middle of my graph. But this is also the axis of symmetry. Okay, a vertical line at 2. And we could go ahead and graph that right now, but let's also label it. This is the axis of symmetry. Okay, and that's one of the things we were supposed to find. It says identify the axis of symmetry and the vertex. So far we have found the axis of symmetry. And you always will write it as a small equation, x equals. Alright, all vertical lines have the form x equals a number. So this axis of symmetry is a vertical line at 2, like this. Alright, and draw your axis of symmetry right on your graph as a dotted line. Okay, and that is the line x equals 2, a vertical line. Now, let's go ahead and use our TI-30 XS multi-view. Actually, wait, one more thing. Now that we know that the vertex has an x coordinate of 2, and we've put that in the middle of our chart, we know what the other x values will be in order. If I go below 2, I'm going 1, 0. If I go above 2, I'm going 3, 4. So we've got the x values. Now let's find the y values that go with them. Alright, well, take your TI-30 XS multi-view, and what I want you to do is, hold on, let me reset my calculator real quick so we can start from scratch. So I want you to hit the table button on your calculator, this button right here. If you do that, then you get this. So let's just type in our equation, x squared minus 4x plus 3. Okay, we've already got the y equals, so I should probably bring this over little bit. Okay, so x squared minus 4x plus 3. So x squared, this is the x button right here, and I can square it like this, and then minus 4x plus 3. All right, I'm going to wind up hitting enter 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that brings me to the table of values. Okay, so, all right, so 0, 1, 2, I've got 3, 0, negative 1. So it's 3, 0, negative 1. And then I can scroll down and see what's going on for these other two. So then I've got 0, 3. 0, 3. You know what, let me go ahead and make this blue, just like the other, because that's the vertex. I want that to kind of stand out. Okay, so as you can see, the vertex is shown here in blue. Okay, so my vertex is the point 2, negative 1. Notice the symmetry when you look at the y values. Starting from the vertex, if you go up or down, you know, on the chart, I got 0. If I go up or down 2 spaces on the chart, then I'm looking at 3s. So everywhere I go as I get further away from the vertex, the y values are the same. And that's because of the symmetry, as you'll see when we graph it. It's the same on the left and the right. So 0, 3 is right here. 0, 3. All right, and then we've got 1, 0 is right here, and 2, negative 1. So that would be right here. And then I don't even have to look at the table anymore. Because of the symmetry, I've got this point to the left. I know I'm going to have 1 to the right as well. So that should be 3, 0. And sure enough, there it is. And looking at this 2 to the left, I know I'm going to have 1, 2 to the right. And then I see that's 4, 3, and that's exactly what we had. All right, so if you have your vertex in the middle and you're not seeing this balance, this symmetry with the y values, you did something wrong. Okay, so let's just go ahead and draw our parabola using these 5 points as a guide. Please draw your parabola reaching all the way to the edge of your graph. All right, don't just stop with the 5 values. Okay, don't just stop right here. Go ahead and keep going. Okay, so it should look something basically like this. Okay, so there's your parabola. And you know, you could put arrows on here if you want to show that it goes up forever. And we've got the vertex and the axis of symmetry, the 2 things they wanted us to point out. So that's problem number 1. All right, problem number 2. Same type of deal. So remember, if we want to find the vertex and the axis of symmetry, I'll just put a V pointing right there for now. The x value of the vertex is going to be opposite of b over 2a. All right, and this is also the equation of the axis of symmetry. So opposite of b, so b, so you can see right here, there's our a, and there's our b, and there's our c. So b is 4, so the opposite of b is negative 4. And then 2a, so that's 2 times 2. Okay, so that's x equals negative 4 over 4, which means x equals negative 1. Now this is the axis of symmetry. Okay, and it is also the x-coordinate of the vertex. All right, now if I go less than -1, I'm going to go -2, -3. If I go greater than -1, I'm going to be at 0 and then 1. So these are the x values. All right, so it's time to put this into our calculator. All right, I think I'll just use this. So go back to the table, clear the equation that's in there. So we have 2x squared, so 2x squared plus 4x plus 1. All right, hit enter 5 times. And here we go. I need to scroll to -3 because that's going to be my first x value. Let's see if I can move over here. I knew that was going to happen. Okay, that works out pretty well. Scroll to -3. Okay, so now I can see that at -3 we have 7. 7, 1, -1. And okay, so 0, 1. At 0 and 1 I have 1 and 7. Again, notice the symmetry. I meant to make this blue, I keep forgetting. Okay, because that's the vertex. Alright, notice the symmetry of the y values. Up and down from the vertex, 1 and 1, 7 and 7. That's the balance. Okay, so the vertex, let's just go ahead and officially label it vertex. Okay, put parentheses around it. Alright, your vertex is the point -1, -1. Alright, so let's graph this thing. So -3, 7. Okay, here's -3, 3, 6, 7. And what else we got? -2, 1. And then we've got -1, -1. And then the symmetry kicks in after that. And I know it's going to be 0, 1 and 1, 7. All right, that's that balance I was talking about. You should go ahead and draw the axis of symmetry as a dotted line and sketch the graph as best you can. None of us are artists. Well, some of us are, but not me. Okay, so you can see I jacked that up a little bit with the squigglies. It's hard to draw with an electronic pen, you guys. You don't realize the difficulty. Okay, and there it is. That is number 2 all done. All right, let's move on to number 3. Okay, look how short this is. One of the terms is missing. Is it the A term or the B term or the C term that is missing? It's the B term that's missing, okay? Because remember, we talk about ax squared plus bx plus c. There's the x squared term, so there's the A term. -3 has no variable, so it must be the constant. The term that's missing is the b. Okay, so really this would be like having y equals 2x squared plus 0x minus 3. Okay, so you've got this 0 that b is actually 0. So if I go to find the axis of symmetry and the x value of my vertex right here, okay, this will be my vertex, then you know, I'm thinking x equals opposite of b over 2a. Well, the opposite of 0 is still 0. That doesn't change anything. Okay, so, well, let me put it underneath. So I've got 0 over 2a, so 2 times 2. But 0 divided by anything is just going to be 0. Alright, so it's still going to be, so I've got x equals 0. So x equals 0 is the axis of symmetry. Okay, which means the x value of our vertex is going to be 0. Okay, x equals 0, well that's right on the y-axis. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the rest of this table. If 0 is in the middle, then if I go below that, I'm talking about -1 and -2. If I go above that, I've got +1 and +2. Let us consult our TI-30 XS multiview. Okay, so table. I'm just going to clear this out. So we've got 2x squared and then just simply -3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here I am. My values started here at -2, so I'm going to scroll up to -2. Okay, so starting at -2, I've got 5, -1, -3. So it's 5, -1, -3. Okay, so scrolling down for those last two, I've got -1 and 5. Now, could you have predicted that without even looking at the calculator? Sure, if we had -1, you know, above the vertex, we're going to have -1 below the vertex, unless we made a mistake. So, we have our vertex right now. And I'm going to label it vertex. Alright, our vertex is the point 0, -3. Okay, let's graph it up. So we've got -2, 5. So -2, 3, 4, 5, -2, 5. And then we've got -1, -1. And then we've got 0, -3. Okay, now just from the symmetry, if I have a point here to the left, I'll have a point here to the right. If I have a point 2 to the left, I'm going to have a point 2 to the right, unless I made a mistake. But so let's check. This is the point 2, 5, and there it is, 2, 5. All right, let's sketch our little graph as best we can. All right, whoa. All right, I was about to miss the point completely. Don't judge. You do it too sometimes. Okay, my wife accuses me of missing the point all the time. She just says, "You're missing the point." I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I know. I'm sorry, too personal? All right, I'll stick to business. TMI, I guess, or something. Why you all up in my business anyway? Okay, so I've got number 4. Let's do this. Let's find the axis of symmetry and simultaneously the x value of the vertex. We will use opposite of b over 2a to accomplish that. Okay, so you know, a is -1, b is 2, c is 4. I'm just looking at these coefficients. So opposite of b will be -2. Okay, and then 2a, well, a is -1, so that's 2 times -1. So that's going to be -2 over -2. So that's going to be x equals +1. So this is the axis of symmetry. All right, and it is also the x-coordinate of the vertex. So kabam. Now, I'm going to go ahead and draw this axis of symmetry. X equals 1 is a vertical line at 1. So there's my axis of symmetry. Now, the other values on this chart. If 1 is the x-axis, the vertex, the x-coordinate of the vertex, if I go below that, I'm going to be at 0 and then -1. If I go above that, I'll be at 2 and then 3. All right, to the calculator. Okay, hit your table button, clear out the old, out with the old, in with the new. So we need -x², so we'll use this white key for the -x², and then plus 2x plus 4, so plus 2x plus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now my table of values starts at -1. Whoa, that was a mistake. Okay, table of values starts at -1. So here I am at -1. I've got 1, 4, 5 for y values. Okay, let's scroll down and pick up the last two. Oh. All right, I've got 1, 4, 5. If I scroll down, okay, I've got 4, 1. Again, we would have known that it would be 4, 1, but it's good to just check and verify instead of just assuming. So it helps us know that we're doing it right. So now we know our vertex. So let's go ahead and nail that down. Okay, I think I'll write it separately this time. The vertex is the point 1, 5. Okay, so we have our vertex and we have our axis of symmetry. So let's get to graphing. So -1, 1 would be right there. 0, 4 would be up here. 1, 5 is going to be right here. 2, 4, okay, right where we expect. And we expect to have a point at 3, 1 based on the symmetry. And sure enough. Okay, we can see that this is a downward facing parabola. Let's go ahead and sketch it. Okay, now, how could I have known that this was a downward facing parabola? Just by looking at the equation. All right, is there something about the equation that tells us ahead of time that this is going to be an upside down parabola? Yeah, this leading coefficient that is negative. All right, if that leading coefficient is negative, it's going to be downward facing. All right, so that was number 4. All right, this video is already 24 minutes long, and it's only the first half of the homework. So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to end this video here, and I'm going to try to do the next video quicker. I'll see you on the next video.